What do you think about the collaboration between street fashion and high end fashion pieces nowadays?
Mm,
Because I feel that before it was something where it was like street fashion is, originated like in the streets,
yeah,
people wear or were wearing these because it was cheaper,
mm-hmm,
kind of how um all these type of wear that people used to work in factories
mm-hmm,
became kind of like what the youth wore,
yeah,
and it became kind of like the street fashion, right? Because it was affordable, it wasn't expensive.
yeah,
But now street fashion became so mainstream, that it started collaborating with high end fashion.
mm-hmm.
Like, what do you think about that?
I don't mind it.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, I'm not really of a like crazy for more like
Luxury
designer
items?
brands.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I can care less what they do or what they bring out sometimes because I feel like I'm more into the not underground,
Mm-hmm.
but like more into like the smaller businesses
Okay.
because I feel like there's a bunch of creative people doing a bunch of dope stuff.
Yeah,
That
that's true.
like if like you'll definitely find a niche like if
Mm-hmm.
of what you're interested in from just like looking at how many people like starting brands now or have different interests or stuff like that. But for the big like fashion houses or whatever, um, I feel that I feel like lately they've they're like how do you say it they're they're just I guess for me they're just there
Okay.
yeah like I don't really pay too much attention to
So
them
what
unless they're
they're doing?
doing collaborations. Then I want to see what they came out with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like unless it's a collab, then I would check it out or stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah, because I feel like collaborations are like really huge nowadays. And I just think it's crazy that you don't know who's gonna collab now,
Mm-hmm.
because it could be something that's not even having to do with fashion,
Oh yeah,
or
yeah,
like with Gatorade collaborating with Nike and
yeah,
things
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. What do you think about that? You think it's because I feel like collaborations are so big
Uh-huh.
nowadays. Or do you think they're here to stay, or you think it's just a phase?
No, I think they should keep going because I think
Really?
it brings up a different audience for like let's say
Mm-hmm.
that group and this group. Like if you're collaborating, let's say a shoe brand with like for example a makeup brand, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you're opening like different audiences
Yeah, yeah,
for
that's
different
true.
people, different spaces. So then like maybe the people that were into makeup are gonna like this shoe, and then like this shoe,
People into shoes are
and
gonna
like
go to
that,
makeup.
yeah,
Yeah,
stuff like
that
that,
makes
right?
sense.
You know, like now you just expose your brand or your ideas and stuff to a different audience. So I think collaborations are good. I would
Yeah.
want to do more collabs, hopefully in the future, like either with homies like you or
Mm-hmm.
just like other small brands or whatever, stuff like that. I think collaborations are dope, and then the end product too, right? From where it started to what you guys were leading to.
Yeah. Let me ask you something. Do you think you've inspired other people to start their own brand?
Honestly, bro, I would say I think I have. I think I have just from talking about it,
Mm-hmm.
like just casually talking about it, because I feel like sometimes I can get really into it. Like I'm just like talking, just because talking from experience, like oh what I did and what I did to get there, and then just like oh like I messed up here and I should have done this,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And I feel like sometimes I want to tell people like oh I am working on something, like check this out. Like always every time I'm working on something new, there used to be is I work at the Grove Nordstrom, so then there was a bunch of people there, and then I would just tell them like my work and stuff like that, right? And then I feel like I inspired a couple people to do stuff, not just there, but elsewhere, like I think in school too, and there's like regular people.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to be inspirational. I get inspired easily, so
Yeah.
I
And I
also
mean,
want to.
just talking to you from what you're saying, I think it's really great because I feel like if you're inspiring other people when someone else starts their own brand, you're not gonna see them as competition.
Oh
You're
no,
seeing them
yeah.
as this is a good way to collab.
I tell everyone like if you're gonna do it, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like go for it. And sometimes I even like offer me as a resource because I feel like like I've been through some of the things I guess they're gonna go through if it's brand related, like starting a clothing brand. Then like use me as a resource because I already either done that or I can just guide you to.
So I could tell you where I messed up so bad.
Yeah, and be like, oh, either I don't know.
That
How
it
to,
made me want to quit.
yeah, like or something like that, bro. Like I feel like I always tell them like, go do it. Yeah. Always do it. Always try it, and then like it won't hurt to try, you know.
Yeah,
it won't hurt to try.
I've gotten some DMs, bro, when I started like the podcast. I started. I've seen like 2 people already start their own podcast too.
Oh, for real?
From my circle.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's dope.
And I saw one other person like DM me and telling me like, "Hey, I want to start my own podcast, this and that." And they're kind of like throwing their ideas at me and being like, "I definitely want to have you on when I start." And I'm like, "Yeah, man. Like whenever you start, like have me on, bro." Because then it's a collaboration.
Yeah,
where they'll get to know us, and then people who follow me will get to know them too.
Yeah.